Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking to the lovely Rozalla.
Lee. Hi, Lee. How are you?
I am brilliant. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well.
Now, I know we're talking to you in your car, which is a first for me. I don't want to
Welcome to my world.
Are you off somewhere nice, or no? Perhaps we don't want to know.
No, I think I don't. On this occasion, I don't think you want to know. No.
Okay. Now, listen. The first time I guess you started singing was back in Zambia, where you were born, in clubs and things like that. When you were about 13.
Yes, I started performing in Zambia, where I was born, and then I continued in Zimbabwe. We moved to Zimbabwe, and I continued performing in Zimbabwe.
And you were doing children's TV shows, is that right?
Yeah. In Zambia, I started doing children's television programs, and when I was 14, my dad knew a friend that was the owner of a band that was playing at the Hotel Intercontinental, and it's like, please get my daughter to sing there, and they're like, yeah, we think she got a great voice, but they couldn't advertise me because I was underage. So I did a 2-week stint every night at the Intercontinental with this band, which was incredible for me. And my dad took me every night.
And you did, you actually had 5 #1 hits?
Yes, in Zimbabwe. I did in Zimbabwe. That's when we moved to Zimbabwe.
Yeah. And that must have been an incredible thing to happen to you. When was that, in about 1988? Or is that when you moved to London?
That's when I started traveling to London. I started traveling to the UK in late 1988. So I would say the 5 hits that I had in Zimbabwe happened around the mid-80s. And that's when I realized that, there was only so far I could go in Zimbabwe as far as my career was concerned. So I wanted to break out and become an international singer.
Now, I mean, coming to London, that must have been, I don't know, a bit of a shock. What was it?
The weather, the cold.
Yeah. I mean, was it always something that you sort of prepared yourself for, that, you're going to go to London, you're going to be with producers and people like this, and actually start a full recording career on an international basis? Was that what you always wanted?
It was a dream. That was my dream. Lee, it still continues to be my dream. And, I am living my dream, basically, Lee. And my dreams keep getting bigger. But it's a big part of my dream has come true.
Now, the first single you released in the UK, Born to Love You, I remember that. That became a huge hit in the clubs in the 90s, the early 90s.
That's right.
What was it like for you, suddenly being this sort of club artist?
It was incredible. I mean, it was a real shock. And 20-some-odd years later, nearly 30 years later, it's still very surreal for me, that what I set out to do from leaving Africa as a young girl, like I said earlier, Lee, a big part of my dreams have come true. And, having Born to Love You do so well for me, because Born to Love You didn't cross over commercially and didn't become a hit for me commercially, but it became a hit for me in the club scenes, which was just incredible.
And then, of course, the anthem, Everybody's Free. What a track. I mean, that is an awesome track.
Thank you so much.
But it's a brilliant dance track, but the vocals on it are the thing that really, really drive that track, which is strange for a sort of dance track. Normally it's the sort of backing, but no, on that, it is that vocal. That is just awesome.
It's the vocal. Thank you so much. And, the funny thing is, I recorded that vocal, it's over 20 years old, and now and again, our producers have asked me, can you re-vocal it again? We want to do a new mix and blah, blah, blah. And I've done so once or twice over the years, but it's not something I don't think I will ever do again. It's been done, and my voice has changed.
Yeah,
my voice has changed. I was in my early 20s then, and I can hit those notes that I did there sometimes, but my voice has changed, so I'm hitting different notes. And the way I like to look at it, Lee, is, I've got different colors in my voice now.
Yeah. Now that reached number 6 in the UK singles chart, and the album got to number 20 in the album chart and went silver. I think that must have been fantastic. You know, as you say, you're in your 20s, early 20s, and bang, suddenly there you are, you're getting silver discs and number 6 in the charts. Really, really fantastic.
Yeah, incredible. Absolutely surreal and incredible. And when I look back at it now and, years forward, in the now, 2019, I'm still getting show offers to go out and perform because of Everybody's Free. And it's just absolutely incredible. And a lot of people ask me, had we asked you this in the early times of when Everybody's Free, that you'd still be asked to be going out and performing it so many years later, would you have believed it? No, I wouldn't, because I've got so many friends that also had big hit singles back in the 90s, and they're not doing what I'm doing.
No.
You know, some of them are, you can count on one hand, but most of them aren't. So I'm really grateful. I say Everybody's Free is my passport.
Yeah, but on the other hand, that album also spawned 2 brilliant tracks as well, Faith and Are You Ready to Fly, which to me stand in their own right. I mean, they are just as good.
Thank you. And I get asked, whenever I go out and do gigs, those are the 3 main songs that are added to my contract that I have to do. Faith in the Power of Love, Are You Ready to Fly, Everybody's Free, and they don't care what else I do outside of those 3.
Now, 92, that must have been an awesome year, because there you are, touring with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, incredible. Just absolutely the highlight of my career. One of the highlights of my career was being a support act for Michael Jackson. Absolutely.
Especially 2 dates at Wembley.
Yeah, especially 2 dates at Wembley. And one of the dates, he cancelled at the 11th hour because I think he lost his voice, or he was having voice trouble or something like that. And I just finished performing, and then one of his security guards on the side were like, you better get off the stage now. And before I finished my set, they literally pulled me off the stage and put me straight into the tour bus, and we drove out of the stadium because they were afraid there was going to be a riot.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised.
All these stories that people don't hear.
Hey, I got to ask you one thing, though. What was it like dancing with Al Pacino?
Incredible. That was another surreal moment. I got to have the opportunity to record I Love Music with Jelly Bean Benitez, who'd worked with Madonna in New York, and that was for the movie Carlito's Way. So I did all that recording in New York, came back to the UK, and then I was told I'd be flying back to New York to perform at Carlito's Way, the film premiere. So I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. So it was like a Monday night, and some of my friends and I went to this Italian restaurant called Villa dei Cesari, which is no more. It was in Pimlico. And I used to sing there before Everybody's Free became a hit, to pay my rent and, put food on the table. And then I went there as a customer, and the owner was so happy to see me. And it was a Monday night, and the Wednesday night I was flying out to perform at the premiere in New York. And who happened to be there was Al Pacino with about 14 other friends. I couldn't believe it, and I was so scared, but I thought I have to go and introduce myself, tell him who I am, tell him what's going on, tell him I'm going to be at the film premiere performing. And I told him all this, and he looked at me sort of like, who is this? But then he believed me, because then I had information that nobody else would, saying where the premiere is going to be. And my name is Rozalla, and I recorded with Jelly Bean Benitez and Carlito's Way, blah, blah. And he just freaked out, and he said to all his friends, look, this is Rozalla! She's performing at the premiere. And then he says, let's go and have a dance. And we danced, and it was incredible. And guess what? I had no camera. That time there was iPhones. Oh, I know. There was no iPhones and phones to take pictures. And when we were at the premiere, I went up to him and I went, Al, now it was first name based. Hey, Al, it's Rozalla. You remember me? It's like, yeah, of course I do. And then there were lots of photographers taking pictures. Until today, Lee, I cannot find a single picture of me and Mr. Al Pacino.
Oh, no. Do you know, you would make you make so many women jealous just by having done that.
Please help me look for it, Lee. Just search the internet and let me know. That's your job now from now on.
Right, okay. I'm going to find that picture.
Yeah, find it. You're on a clock now.
Now you did a jazz and soul album
Yes,
in 2009, but
that's
under a
right.
different name. You put Miller as your
No,
last
no,
name.
it was. Yeah, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Well, to record that easy listening jazz soul album, and that style of music is something I've always wanted to do because I feel I'm more a singer that lends my voice can be lent to mid-tempo and ballads instead of just dance music, which is what I'd been put into. And so I had the opportunity of doing this style of music, different style of songs. And in Zimbabwe and Zambia, I used to go out as Rozalla Miller. So my manager at the time said, why don't we call the album Rozalla Miller? And I'm like, yeah, instead of just Rozalla, which is what I normally go out as. And yeah, so Rozalla Miller's been resurrected.
And then just a few years ago, top 10 in the Billboard Club dance charts with If You Say It Again, with followed by the single Shadows of the Moon. I mean, back in the UK, US charts, that must have been really a real big high.
A real shock. That was a real shock. Honestly, I mean, after having such a long gap of so many years of being in the Billboard charts with Everybody's Free, Faith, Are You Ready to Fly, and one or two other tracks I can't remember. There was a long pause in between me getting anything into the Billboard charts, and If You Say It Again went into the Billboard charts at number 5 into the dance club charts, I think it was. Yeah. And I think, wow, how did this happen?
And of course,
incredible.
The same thing is going to happen in the UK now with Turn on the Light.
Yeah, I am praying, Lee. I am praying. I've got my sister-in-law sitting next to me and she's saying her prayers already.
I didn't realize it until I actually listened to the lyrics, but there's actually Everybody's Free in the lyrics of that song, isn't there? Was that intentional?
Yeah, because, sorry?
Was that intentional? I mean, did you write that in?
Yes, it was. It was, because if you listen to the song, it's a semi-biographical song about my career, put into a very compacted way lyrically. And basically the song is about, through all the ups and downs in the music industry, which is a really, really tough industry to be in. I'm still here singing my songs. And when I go out there, even if I'm feeling down, and I turn on the lights and the audience put their hands up in the air and they're all singing, Everybody's Free. I mean, wow. So turn on the light and just come on this ride with me, which has been, continues to be incredible.
Now, that must be one of the most empowering feelings on the planet, when everybody's singing your song to you.
It's honestly, it makes my eyes water. It's something that'll never, ever, till the day I die, be lost on me, Lee. I mean, my husband is semi-retired now, so he travels with me, and he's seen more of my shows. And about a couple of weeks ago, I did a gig in Leeds called the Reminisce Festival, which in itself has just grown bigger and bigger every year. And this year, they had about 20,000 people. Wow. And I went on stage. I just did the 2 songs, Are You Ready to Fly and Everybody's Free. And normally what I try and do before I do Everybody's Free, I do an a cappella of Everybody's Free and try and get the audience to sing. Honestly, I just did the first line, everybody, and they took it over. And they went a step further. Honestly, they went a step further and started singing the verses. I was so shocked. I was tearful. When I came off, my husband was bawling his eyes out, and I'm going, do keep quiet here, man.
But that's what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, everybody's free to have fun, and they're having fun. And that's wonderful.
Absolutely, because, life is long but short, as they say. And, just enjoy life with the best wisdom you have, with positivity as best as you can.
So what's happening now? You've obviously still touring at the moment.
Yeah. Every weekend I've got a gig, and I'm working on an album, which is from, Turn on the Lights will feature on as well. So we've got another 2 or 3 more tracks left to lay down, and we've got about 2 or 3 more follow-up singles, and we've decided on the next one. I won't name it just yet, we're having mixes down. So So yeah, so you're going to have to do another interview with me next year, Lee.
You betcha. You
But that's the
betcha.
plan. Yeah, thank you, darling. But that's the plan, to release another couple more singles before we drop the album in the new year.
Great. Well, we'll certainly catch up when you get that album out.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to let you go now and get back to driving.
Oh my darling, I've stopped the car. I don't any accidents. So thank you so much.
Okay, look, Rozalla, have a brilliant day. We look forward to the album and also to those next singles. But at the moment, we're going to
Thank
carry
you,
on
darling.
playing The Light. Okay?
Thank you so much, and thank you for your support, Lee. I really, really appreciate it. Really, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Take care now.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.